I go and prepare a place for you. I will come back again and take you to myself. Good morning again, everyone.
Good morning, brother.
This is Friday, and we use this day to recollect ourselves, to remember ourselves, put ourselves back together. Excuse me again. As a day of recollection, and during the week, perhaps we have gone through many experiences, and one of those are the flood and the rain. You have that, and many instances in our life, it strikes us and it keeps lingering in our heart and our mind. And one of the instances that I cannot forget is the time when one of our, do not know if he is a parishioner here, but they do not go to church here. He called many times for me to come and anoint his wife. I told you about the story of this 90 years old man, and as he came here picking me up, it was raining cats and dog, and I saw, there were tears in his eyes, and as I went to his home, and his wife was there. She had a cancer, like last stage, and they were expecting death coming. And I saw how he took care of her. And as he drove me back here to this parish, and he told me, I'm not a good man. I'm a very, very bad man. But anything that is good that I have comes from my wife. Somehow she brought it out in me. Wow, that is a statement of a 90-year-old man who is in love, still in love. I don't know what to do if I don't have, if she leaves me. That's what he said. That's a man who is still in love, 90 years old. Now, those who are in love, you know this, because we are not complete human beings until we can live through the eyes of another person. There's a saying, I never know what life means until I see it through your eyes. Now we grow up as an individual, one person, and we think, children growing up and think that the world, we own the world. Until you live your life through another person's life or through another person's eyes, you know. A girl does not know what it means until she becomes a mother, and she's going to live through the eyes of the children. Now, Jesus came, and imagine this, God who knows everything, He became one of us. He became one of us, and He lives through the eyes of human beings. So we can go to Him and see life through the eyes of God. We will not know what life means until we see it through the eyes of another person. We will not know what eternal life means until we see it through the eyes of Jesus Christ. And Jesus said this to His disciples today, I'm going, but do not let your heart be troubled. I'm going. I'm going to come back. I'm going, but I'm going to prepare a place for you. In my Father's house, there are many, many mansions, not just dwelling place, mansions, and you're going to be there. I'm going. Now, if you look at other religions, many religions in the world, if you study Buddhism, as I've studied, all my life, Buddhism, and even after high school, I even shaved my head since I study a lot on astronomy and quantum mechanics. I love that. And you reach a point in quantum mechanics, and you cannot describe things as it is. You have to use poetry, perhaps sometimes music. There's a comparison between the quantum world and the mystic world. So there's a conversation between the scientists and the Tibetan monks, and I saw that conversation between Dalai Lama and these scientists, and I sit there and I keep questioning myself, They have the way when somehow our science, we can talk, dialogue, have a dialogue to Buddhism. So I went into Buddhism. I shaved my head and I became just like a monk, and I meditate a lot. This is before I joined the religious order. And you reach a point where you study the teaching of Buddha. Buddha said this, and at one time he looked at the moon and he pointed his finger at the moon and said, "Don't look at my finger. I am not the moon, okay? I'm not the light. Look at the moon." Only one of his students understood. Now, Buddha said that. Don't look at my finger. I am not the one. I am not the one that will give you, the moon. You look at the light of the moon, you know the light of the moon comes from the sun, and the sun, God creates the sun. Now, you go through Buddhism and you go through all those mystics, the mystic teaching. You don't see anyone who teaches, any of the teachers, great teachers. Now, a lot of people over here go to India or go to China, somewhere over there, and learn some about them. But it is different. Now, if you study Buddhism, once you become Buddha, what's going to happen is you do not need God anymore, because you become like a God. You're a God yourself, and they build a temple for you, and they worship you. Really? And you go to other religions, you can read the book, and the book will tell you this and that, and you interpret it according to whatever you and your experiences or your history or your culture. And the people of the book, any kind of religion, but except this religion. Well, Jesus did not say, go there, go there. No, I am the way. Suppose you go to Rome and you ask directions for to go to the Church of Saint Clement, the Pope. I think he's the third or maybe the fourth Pope after Peter. And I give you directions. Okay, you get the taxi to Via Merulana and go straight down on your left side, hand side, and turn right. Go about 7 minutes, and you cross the railroad. And remember, you see the church. It is so old, and you don't see it as a church. And go there. You think you can get there? I give you that kind of direction. Suppose you go to Rome and I take you there. What is Saint Clement? A lot of people know the Colosseum and Saint Peter's and all those the catacombs. But what is Saint Clement? You go down there, you see the 21st century, the 20th century, the 14th century, the 9th. They dig it down every century. Almost you have a church under the church. It's amazing, amazing church. If you go to Rome, you have to go there. But unless you have somebody take you there and show you, and this is what Jesus did. God came down from heaven, became a man, and he went through everything that a man, should go through in the experience in life, especially suffering. He went through everything. Why? So he can tell us, I am one of you now. Now I'm going to go back to where I am, and I make the way. I am the pioneer. I'm going to, this kind of in the war, the reconnaissance. They create the way for the armies to come, and he's the one. And he pierced through heaven. He brought humanity into heaven and sit at the right hand of God the Father. He's going to come back. He brings us back. This is the way, Jesus is the way. What is this way? The way of the cross. The way of the cross. What is the truth? Well, the truth is this. It is so hard to be a moral teacher or a priest, as compared to become maybe a mathematic teachers in math or teacher in geometry or in geography, because you do not need to be a moral person to teach science, really. But now I'm standing here, every word I say, it is my death sentence if I do not live what I preach. You can't condemn me. It is so dangerous to stand here. I suppose I say, you need to love one another, but I'm embittered. If I say, well, you need to be generous, but I'm so stingy and grasping, I'm just holding things on my... How about I teach people to be compassionate, but I'm so domineering. To be a moral teacher, you have to be it. You have to not just to say the word, but you have to live it. And this is what I and all the religious and all the priests, we are not perfect. We know we're imperfect. And every time, every day we purge ourselves, we cleanse ourselves. And every day, Lord, help me to be authentic, to be truthful to our vocation, to my vocation. One of my teachers, spiritual director, is a founder of the Redemptorist in the Extra Program. He's still alive, and he's turning 90, I think, right now. He's an amazing man. When he comes out, he talks to people. Just keep listening. I'm not that patient. He keeps listening to people, and he and listen, and he founded the congregation, the order. And after he's done, he's retired now, he went back, and the superior, Father Dominic, would give him anything. He would do anything. And he washed the dishes, and he does, cleans the house and do laundry, everything. And ask him, what do you think about religious life? He said, it's not about founding this congregation. I'm just like a mop, like you mop the toilet, and maybe the house. And after God is done with me, throw me in somewhere in the closet. I'm just like that. Imagine that, so humble. I have not reached that point yet. But Jesus, he did that. He used his own hands. He washed the feet of his disciples. He did everything. Now, this is what we follow. We, the priest, we are not. I am not Jesus Christ. I'm not God. But I follow him, and suddenly the Lord say, okay, I make you, I choose you. And I've chosen you to be Ultra Christi Capiti. I choose you to be the ambassador. You're going to be my presence. You're going to be my witness. You're going to be my evidence. Wow, that's a tremendous task. I keep looking at my spiritual director, and I don't know when I'm going to reach that point, but hoping. This is the way of the cross. The truth is that God is humble. He's powerful, but his power, the Almighty, is humble. Humility is the truth of God. And what is this life here? Once again, we return to that looking through the eyes or living through the eyes of another person to see their pain and their suffering. And suppose you come to me, we have doctors here. If a patient comes to the office of the doctor, immediately their sickness, their disease, belongs to the doctor. They take them in. Right? So I'm responsible and I'm accountable for your pain, your suffering, and your sickness. That's what happened. So when people come to me as a priest, so I have to be responsible and accountable for your pain and suffering in your spiritual life, in your daily life, in your family life also. Now this is the vision, this is the wish that I want to be, but I'm not going to be like Jesus. I can't be. But the life of Jesus is a life of love, a life of service. When you love somebody, you serve all you can. Life of service. That's what he does. That's how you see he loves us, how he loves us. So Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and he's here. He's serving us again and again, every day. Not just with his hands anymore, or with his teaching, of course, the priests are teaching, but by becoming our own food, serving us with his own body. He serves us with his own blood. That is how he loves us. And this is how he sees life through our own eyes, and in the hope that we will see life, eternal life, through his own eyes. Amen.
Amen.